to you, crabs. So, all right. Again, I'm not talking about like the inflammation. I'm talking about the zodiac sign, but whatever. Anyway, so for you crabs, you have the Eight of Swords, the High Priestess, and then you also have the Four of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here for you, I'm seeing how you crabs very much so are you're being very aware of who it is that you crabs actually get to know, whom it is that you crabs actually take the time to really get to know. You're being you're hyper aware of what's going on. A lot of people really can't pull the wool over your eyes because what part of what gets you is the art of suspending disbelief. So buying into it and wanting to see what will happen next. But you already know what will happen next. So there's a sense of you crabs. If someone is stepping to you, you're going to be very much so aware of what's going on. People take the whole awareness thing and then they go out of proportion with it, right? You know, they'll be ultra asking questions over people who are actually serious and who actually mean them well. But then it's always the flip for other individuals. And it's like, okay, that's how it is that you choose to live your life. Cool. But a lot of you, you know, in order for you to get your life back together better, right? We always have to understand that part of our lives is the love life. And our lives won't be as good as we want it to be if we do not get that portion of our lives underneath control a little bit better, right? You know, or more manageable. And how we're able to do that is by keeping dysfunctional people out of our lives. I was talking on the phone yesterday, and I'm not going to say any names, but I was talking on the phone, and such and such was telling me about how, the person was like, I don't have time for people who just want to be stupid all the time. And I'm like, I was like, it takes energy, doesn't it? And the person was like, all day long they're gossiping and arguing and bickering, and there's always something that comes up. It's so much. And I was trying to tell the person, not trying to, I told the person, I was like, the person wasn't a crab, the person was an Aquarius, but I was telling the person, I was like, see, I told you. I said, when it comes to getting your life on point, you will have to make a legitimate conscious choice. You will have to decide to do better, and that is a conscious, well thought out decision, or you will choose to be on some dysfunctional stuff. But if you choose to be on some dysfunctional stuff, that is also a conscious choice. So this is why I don't be giving passes like that to people who make up excuses to not being better, to not understanding their ways when they know that they're messing up, to constantly coming up with excuses. It's like, I ain't trying to hear all that, because especially and more so, especially if they work hard in order to do it. And the thing is that the Four of Pentacles and the Judgment represents. So, what I'm trying to say here is that you crabs got to allow people to be crash test dummies. Let them do it. Let them show you. Because when it comes to dating, what I realize is that people don't want to listen to anything loving and positive you talking about. That's how you know that you dealing with a person who is out of their mind. They're dysfunctional. And because what I realized is, as I was getting to know a couple of people, anything positive, me wanting to call them, me wanting to come talk to them, they freezing me out. They giving me a difficult time. They trying to bait me into arguments. They going at me. They calling me stupid. They calling me all kind of names. They giving me all kind of issues. But if I tell them, yo, you dumb, you whatever, this was in the past. This is in the past. If I call them whatever, they listen to that. Oh, okay. Told this person to get offline, called them goofy, and then they got offline. But you wouldn't. This is in the past. This is like 2019, right? This is 2019. So 6 years ago, coming up on 6 years ago, basically. Anyway, this is in 2019, and I'm really sitting back paying attention to it, like nothing positive that I told this person cared about, right? I called this person a gangster. This person, yeah. But if I said, oh, you're a lovely young lady, boo, boo. So the behavior is really odd, and you don't believe me? Try it for yourself. Pay attention to what they. I'm not saying for you to command them to do some goofy stuff. What I'm trying to say is, my dear crabs, pay attention to it yourself and see what it is that they actually pay attention to. Don't listen to any of the stuff that they on. Just pay attention to what they are about. Pay attention to what it is that they actually stand for and they actually go for, right? If they go for if they actually go for like dysfunctional stuff, or if they actually go for uplifting, astute things, and just sit back and observe. Most people want to play this game. Well, oh, I love myself, but that's cap though, because that's the stupidity in it. Why listen why listen to all the self dysfunctional things, and why don't listen to all the things about I love you, I respect you, I want you around, you have value. If you can't hear that, then there's something wrong with that person. You understand? Like, if they can't hear that, something wrong with them. And the reason why is because what I'm trying to say here with that is that's your love life. Words of affirmation, care about the person, they're not listening to any of that. And that is one of the reasons why you have to be very careful, because the stupidity and the dysfunction is real in the field. The Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, people will wrestle you to be dysfunctional, to be delusional, to be not worth anything. And you crowds are looking for someone that has a little bit more worth than that. The Page of Wands, because you have worth. So the thing is that the Ace of Wands, you really are not built to be with anybody who's still on that dysfunctional stuff. Like, this is how it is that I was able myself to even decipher that a lot of people don't really like themselves. They'll lie. It's like, no, but you say that, but again, listening to you and doing and watching what you do, you're saying that you like yourself. But then why make these stupid decisions? And this is why it is that this is one of the reasons why it is that I say that the devil doesn't exist, because I learned at a very young age, when I got initiated, that people use the whole devil thing as a means of taking accountability off of themselves. Because the devil figure that they have in religion didn't actually get introduced until much later. Let me say that one more time. The devil character didn't get introduced into certain religions until much later. In the Muslim faith, in the Muslim religion, there is no real religious depiction per se, in that sense of who the devil is. You have the Dajjal, right? And I'm not Muslim, but I studied it to understand what I'm talking about. They have the Dajjal, which is like the or Shaitan, but more so also known as the Dajjal, which is that's basically the closest thing that you can get to actually speaking the devil's true name in that faith, right, of Muslimism, the Dajjal. So, but there is no real super defined hard aspect of who that actually is still to this day. So people use the whole devil thing as a means of taking accountability off of themselves. What am I trying to say? People use Christianity, the devil, different things to not take accountability for the fact that they don't want to admit, because their ego won't allow them, that they don't like themselves. So they'll come up with all kind of different, no, you don't like yourself. These are facts. And don't have me go to the extent to show and prove what I'm talking about. Don't do that to yourself before I have to embarrass a lot of people, because, there's going to be some goof troll coming to the comment section. Oh, you know what you're talking about? Then I got to show and prove. And then it's like, yeah, so the Three of Pentacles and the Temperance right here represents how. And so because of that, right, a lot of you crabs, basically, you have gotten yourselves into a brand new environment. Your environment is different. The people that you hang out with is different. If you hang out with people and you have a group of friends, it's different. You've traded out dysfunctional people who are caught up on some self-disliking type of mentality into people who are progressive. And I don't mean the political progressive. I'm talking about people who have ideas that are constantly looking to innovate, bringing value to other people, iron sharpening iron, making you better along the way. And then the Temperance right here represents and leaving behind this old mentality and old culture that you do, right? Because a culture basically means something that you do is customary, something that you do, right? The way you go about doing things is what a culture is. So the King of Cups and the Hangman represents how it is that you are in a situation where you crabs, basically, you're not the person anymore where you're looking towards being dysfunctional and running around and trying to do this and do that and all this other type of stuff. Like, no, you crabs very much so are having fun, doing your thing, running around, right? You're meeting brand new people, but you're also very aware of who they are and not really wanting to be in relationships per se. Not saying that you won't get in one, but you're just kind of seeing who's out here, stuff like this, because you're fixing your life. You crabs are fixing the people whom you're changing the people whom you hang around. So if one person, you do not get along with them, you're swapping them out for someone that you could get along with. Someone that, really is on to something, right? Changing your environment. Also, too, you crabs also are watching the quality of the people that you hang around. Do they even like themselves? Because usually people who like themselves generally do not have to play games with other people, because, and I've talked about this before, right? If you were here, you were here, and you know what I was going to say, that, in one of my lives, that a lot of the times people who like themselves don't really worry about things like dislike, holding grudges. They're so busy thinking about how themselves can progress. Like, they're so busy thinking about how they can progress and innovate, become better, and look to become more vast and well-rounded and more capable, right? To stuff like this, right? More holistic, right? More healthy with theirs. They're not really worried about the dysfunction that other people got going on, because they understand that everybody got to deal with their own stuff. And this is what it is that I be trying to say when I say that a lot of the people whom it is that you be meeting, crabs, is delusional, because that's a delusion to be like, oh, You know, you gotta like, they're so important to you that like you be chasing up on after them endlessly. And it's like, you know for a fact that that's not really the reality of the situation. That person is too far gone at that point. That person is too far gone. They have to fix themselves if they even try. So other than that, you crabs basically are focusing on what you're focusing, right? Which is self-empowerment and making sure that you fix your life up, going on spring cleaning once again, and maintaining what it is that you have built, making sure that, taking accountability for and responsibility for the fact that you want to make sure that you're on the right track. So let's clarify the hangman. The Ace of Wands, the Temperance, which you already have, the Nine of Pentacles, the Devil card, Six of Swords. Ooh. So the Ace of Wands and the Temperance, right, represents how a lot of you, again, for you crabs, right, the Ace of Wands and the Temperance speaks to how, again, I just see a lot of you crabs don't really have the time to worry about dysfunctional nonsense and like people who want to be on some self-disliking stuff coming to you with it. That's the reason why you shouldn't take it too personally, because they don't really like themselves really deep down like that themselves. But then they take out their disdain onto you, but it's projected. And see, the thing is that now again, you shouldn't hang around them. But the Nine of Pentacles, the Devil card, and the Six of Swords, I was just talking about the devil, right? But yeah, the devil wasn't introduced into religion until later, believe it or not. But it's a fact. The devil wasn't introduced into religion until later, because the devil doesn't have a specific name. And the reason why, you'll have like Lucifer, the devil, Shaitan, Satan, all this other stuff. The reason why the devil doesn't have a specific name is because it was a fictional character. Basically, it didn't get introduced into religion until later, right? Basically. And I know this for a fact because that's what my first book is about. My first book is about the religious Moors, the religious European Moors battling against the traditional Moorish Americans. That's why it is that I named the book From the Beginning to the End, because regardless of the who or the what, whether what happens, no matter what happens, the Moors still win from the beginning to the end of time. But that's a play on it, because there is no such thing as the end of us. There is no such thing as the beginning of us. So we exist time immemorial. We've always been here. And why I'm saying that is because it's the same thing, right? The fact that you crabs, basically, you see it now. You see that you like yourself because the things that you're doing, it shows the kind of love that you have for yourself. You wouldn't be looking to change your environment if you didn't care about yourself. It's just that it took for you crabs to get into some pretty dysfunctional relationships and interactions for you to really make a distinction of what path you're going to take. Are you going to go down the self-grandizing, grandiose, self-destruction, dysfunctional mentality? Or are you going to go the path of true self-love and looking to minimize the ego as much as possible? Understanding that you have an ego, but understanding to be mindful of when you're getting a little bit too out of control, and to rein that back in and to have a much more fuller life. And I think, and if you ask me, I have observed from doing this reading, a lot of you have actually made said choice. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're coming up on 19,700 already. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell Set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.